Hey guys, it's Shara, and I'm bringing you our next Devo in our Kingdom Company series as we walk through the book of John. If you were here with us this last weekend, you got to hear Kate go through chapter 8 of John and talk about what real freedom is, the difference of freedom that the world gives us and freedom that God gives us, and how we receive that freedom and we respond to that freedom. And it's an awesome chapter. So if you didn't read chapter 8, I encourage you, check it out. There's so much great stuff in there. But today I'm going to continue with chapter 9. I'm just going to hit the first 12 verses that we're going to jump into. That has this awesome story where we see God's power, Jesus's power come through in this miracle where he heals a man. And so we're just going to read these 12 verses, and then in your own free time, I encourage you to keep reading the rest of the chapter because it continues the story even more, showing God's power. So if you're not in John 9, hit pause and then jump with me there. We're reading John 9 starting at verse 1. Here we go. It says, as he went along, talking about Jesus, he saw a man blind from birth. Just imagine that. Someone who's literally never seen anything before. Imagine those YouTube videos that you've probably seen where someone can hear for the first time or see for the first time, or they get glasses and they don't see blurriness anymore. This is someone who's literally never seen anything. They've been blind from the moment they've been born. So this guy's had this with his whole life. So his disciples, Jesus' disciples, asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? The disciples ask, hey, Jesus, this guy, he has a birth defect, there's something wrong with him, so either he did something wrong and he's being punished, or it's because his parents did something wrong. But it's awesome how Jesus responds, and we're going to camp on this paragraph. Jesus says, neither this man nor his parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Jesus just said, I'm the light of the world. So having said this, he, Jesus, spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam. And the word Siloam, this means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. Jesus literally spit, made mud, and put it in his eyes and was like, go see. And it's not necessarily the mud that healed him. It's Jesus' power and the faith of this man responding to doing what Jesus said, to going to this pool, to going through this tunnel to get to this pool where he had to go down there blind by himself with mud on his eyes and listening to what God said by responding in obedience and responding in faith. So he washed and he came home seeing. He got to see for the first time in his entire life. And in verse 8 it says, his neighbors and those who had formerly seen him begging asked, isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg? Some claimed that he was. Others said, no, it only looks like him. But he himself insisted, no, I am that man. I'm the man who couldn't see my whole life. I've been blind. I've been having to beg. And they said, how then were your eyes open? They demanded. He replied, the man they called Jesus made some mud and put on my eyes. He told me to go to Siloam and wash, so I went and washed, and then I could see. Where is this man? They asked, and he said, I don't know. What I think is awesome about this story is we see several things. One, we see the power of God in healing a man who's been blind forever. You can't see someone do that today. Only God can do that. Another thing we see here is this question that we have, that a lot of us have, is why do bad things happen? Why does this man who's blind, is it something he did wrong? Is it something his parents did wrong? What's the reason for this? And Jesus responds saying, no, it's not something they did wrong. There's sin in the world, so things happen. But at the end of the day, this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. You see, guys, in your life, something bad may happen. Maybe because of your sin, someone else's sin, or just the fact that we're in a sinful, fallen, broken world. And a lot of times it's easy for us to point and be like, why this happened? Why this happened? Why this happened? Who did this? Why me? Instead of asking the question, well, how can God use this? Because you see, God isn't the author of our pain, but he doesn't refuse to waste it. Meaning whatever you're going through, a difficult circumstance, the pain you're going through, maybe a parent's divorce, a hard friendship, you're having to move away to a different school, all these different things in life that could be painful. God's going to use that. His glory is going to be shown in that. And you might not see that in your whole life. You might not know, how is he using this? You might not understand it. But it says here in this promise that God uses things in our life so that his power, his glory might be displayed. So I just want to encourage you guys with a perspective shift of whatever you're going through in life, whether you're dealing with something painful or something hard because of sin, keep in mind that God can use that for his glory, so that he's glorified, so that he's known, so that his power is shown. And he can also use it to grow you, to stretch you, to bring you closer to him. So it's an awesome story here where we get to see that in the story of this man who was born blind and now can see. And I encourage you guys just to dig into that in your own life. Ask yourself, what is things in my life that I can allow God's glory to show through, or I can allow myself to grow closer to God? Thanks for joining us today, guys. I hope you read the rest of chapter 9 because there's some great stuff in there. See you next week.